Hello and welcome to episode number 304 of the Launch Lounge podcast. Are you tired of running exhausting live launches that leave you drained and broke between launch windows? In today's episode, you'll hear how one of our agency clients broke free from that hamster wheel and built an Evergreen webinar that makes a sale every single day on autopilot. If you've been dreaming of predictable revenue without the constant launch stress, this one is for you. Stay tuned. Hello and welcome. Between now and the end of October, we are talking all about ads. I heard some of you say, yes, come on. You love me for marketing as much as you do for ads, right? If you have any questions about using Facebook or Instagram ads to grow or scale your business, then shoot me an email at podcast@thelaunchlounge.com and I will make sure that we cover your most pressing ads issues. It's like I always say, ads problems are not really ads problems, they're marketing problems. So if you do send me your message and it relates to filling up your webinar or getting people to show up to your webinar, or your evergreen funnel. Maybe your evergreen funnel's not doing quite as well as it used to. Shoot me your emails. I want to hear all about what has you scratching your head about ads and how to use ads so that you can profitably and predictably grow and scale your business. So I love what I'm going to share with you today, not only because this is someone that I absolutely adore that I'll be telling you about, but I do have to give you guys a little bit of a disclaimer here. I'm telling you about Sarah. Sarah is not her real name. Now, before you think, oh, is this true crime? Like, are we protecting people's identities? I do feel a little bit like I'm in a Netflix true crime doco, giving people pseudonyms. But she was an agency client. She's no longer one because she retired. She retired rich and happy. And satisfied. She was done. She was like, I've done this. I have made my money. I'm good. I am selling my business, which she did successfully. And now she lies on a beach most days, or she does other things. She has hobbies. Let's just say she has hobbies. So Sarah went from living on this launch hamster wheel to making sales every single day with her evergreen funnel. And I'm going to tell you Sarah's story. I'm going to explain her whole marketing and ads and everything set up as a case study for you guys, because I know there is so much value for you in learning from what I'm seeing happens in other people's businesses that I've had this incredible front row seat to for the last 7 years. So just so you know, I changed her name for privacy, but everything else, the numbers, the strategies, even the mistakes, we're sharing it all so that you can learn from this real story. Now, of course, the reason I keep her name secret is because nobody, you guys know I'm happy to say I'll lift up my dress and show you my knickers, but not everybody necessarily wants their data out there in the world published on a website and a podcast. And so the only way that I can share this sensitive information with you guys is by depersonalizing it. Now, of course, you can go to my website and read a bazillion testimonials. Take your pick. There's testimonials there of people like Sarah. But the important thing for me is that you hear what we did, what we didn't do, what mistakes we made, what we learned, and what worked so that you can go and implement that as well. All right. So here's the thing. When I first heard make money while you sleep, I rolled my eyes a little bit, and maybe you did too. I thought it was marketing BS. And I will confess, and maybe you've felt this way as well, that in my most desperate moments and in those times where I was crying because things just weren't working as well as I wanted them to work, or it was taking 3 years longer than I thought it was going to take, when I heard people say, make money while you sleep, I perked up, my ears. I was like, yes, tell me, please. Give me this secret elixir, please. But imagine this. Imagine waking up tomorrow, grabbing your phone and seeing there's a Stripe notification or a PayPal notification that says you made a sale, literally, while you were sleeping. Not because you stayed up late into the wee hours of the morning writing emails, not because you hustled desperately on Instagram, but because you have a system that you worked your tail off to build. And you tested and you tweaked and you optimized and you were patient and strategic and you separated the numbers from the emotions. And you kept working at it, little bits at a time, increments, little increments, little increments. That's the reality that Sarah lived every day when she was running these ads. But she didn't start there. She started where so many of us are, running the same exhausting cycle, prepping for weeks, going live, opening cart, making loads of sales, and then crickets, nothing, until the next launch. And sometimes I can even include there, sometimes need 3 months break from business to recover from emotional trauma of live launch, right? Yes, I see you, I feel you, right? And then there's no income until the next launch. I'll never forget her telling me about the night after her 3rd or 4th live launch. After that cart closed, she poured a glass of wine and sat down on the couch, surrounded by all the sticky notes of her new students and the boxes and files and things from her launch war room. And she thought, I can't keep doing this. I love my program and I love my students, but I hate what launching is doing to me. Her program, the DIY Brand Design Academy, which is a made-up name, was proven, completely proven. It sold. We had the numbers. We knew that when she launches live, it works. 3 or 4 or 5 successful launches under the belt, and she had glowing testimonials. But she was freaking tired. Right? I know there are some of you listening that goes, yes, I'm so tired. I know, I hear you. She's totally worn out. Now, if that sounds familiar, if you're nodding along and thinking, oh my goodness, that is me, you are not alone. I want you to know that. I talk to so many people who feel this way. And I am not saying today that an evergreen funnel is a magic elixir. But I am saying that if you're going to put in the work, you can put the work into an evergreen funnel or aim to get to an evergreen funnel. Now, the pathway there is through live launches, but you can get there. And you don't have to live launch for 700 million years before you get there. So what we're going to look at today is we are going to look at some of the main challenges that Sarah faced. We're going to look at where most people fail at Evergreen. I'm going to share a 4-phase Evergreen acceleration strategy. So I'm going to share with you the 4 phases that every Evergreen funnel has to go through in order for it to work. And we're going to look at Sarah's results. And then at the end of this episode, I'm going to give you a bit of an implementation guide. So make sure you stick around until the end for the implementation guide, because if you're serious about going evergreen, you're going to want to hear this. So what was the main challenge? Let's unpack the main challenge that Sarah was facing. And this really is about your business becoming your prison. So let me ask you a question that might sting a little bit. How many times have you launched, made great money, and then watched your income drop to 0 the next month? That was Sarah's reality. Her course was proven. Her students loved it. She had glowing testimonials. But the second the cart closed, she had no income. And whilst that's a model that works to get you off your feet, that's not a model for a sustainable business. I don't care who you are. I spoke to Mel. What is Mel's name? James Waitmore's buddy. Mel somebody. He's like a finance guru. And one of the first things he said to me after he recovered from cancer was he realizes the flaw in the live launching model now, because there is no other business model where you only sell to people seasonally. You know, think about your favorite clothes store. Imagine if their doors were closed and then they opened for 2 weeks and then they closed again. Like, it just doesn't happen, right? So even good old Mel agrees with me. And there's the other element that Sarah's clients want her course when they want her course. They don't want to wait for court open. They have a problem now and they need that problem solved now. And she wants to sell her course to them. And I know a lot of you are in the same situation. I have a student who sells courses for birth, pregnancy and birth, right? That's not something you can say to someone, hang on, my court's not open right now, right? My client, the divorce client, Laura, you guys met Laura. She was on the show. Her course does have court open and court closed, but we are talking about the same problem there where someone needs your course today. They don't want to wait until court open, right? So when someone wanted to buy her course on a random Tuesday in March, they couldn't. Her business was basically a store that only opened 3 days a year. And no wonder she felt trapped. Maybe you can relate to that. Yeah, if that's you, keep listening, because what we did next really flipped her entire business model on its head. But before I reveal what we did, let's explore a little bit about why most people fail at Evergreen. Here's a quick reality check for you. Have you tried going Evergreen, set up your automated funnels, recorded your webinar, dropped in the emails, done all the things, dumped $3,000 into ads, and then not made any sales? I don't know if that's happened to you. Maybe it hasn't. Fingers crossed. But I know there are some of you out there that has had this experience. And that's what I call the Evergreen graveyard. That is a sad place to be. And if you look carefully into the Evergreen graveyard, you'll find 3 laughing hyenas in there. Just kidding. Funnels collecting dust instead of collecting sales. Funnels people gave up on. Funnels that people come to me when they want to work with us in the agency and they say, well, I've got this one and it's sitting there and it's been sitting there for a while and we tried it, but it didn't work and I'm not really sure what to do with it. Yeah. You know, if you've got one sitting there, go look for the laughing hyenas. I'm sure you'll find Ed nodding his head. Yeah. Do it again. Here's the brutal truth. Most people fail at Evergreen because they treat it like a copy-paste of their live launch. But live and Evergreen are 2 completely different games. Now, it is obvious that the reason people treat it as a copy-paste is because you launch live first, and then you take those assets and you turn it into Evergreen. But there are some other things that you need to consider when you go Evergreen, like the fact that your traffic is now freezing ice cold. Right? Live works because of the energy. It works because of the urgency. It's that crowd effect. Launching live is like being in a stadium and being Taylor Swift, and everybody has fought for their seat to get there, and they're waiting for you to come on and to do your thing and to blow them away and to pull out their credit cards, right? Because that's what happens with everybody in their live launches. Evergreen works because you created a compelling experience that doesn't require that crowd effect. Something so good that people stick with it, even when they're watching alone while they're folding laundry. So the myth that I want to bust about Evergreen here is that you can just set it and forget it and build it once and be done. The reality is that Evergreen requires specific strategies. It requires a lot of testing and it requires constant optimization. So let's look at the 4 phases of an evergreen funnel setup or strategy. Here's exactly what we did with Sarah and how we turned her launch-only model into an evergreen daily sales machine. Phase 1. Phase 1 involved warming up the algorithm. Keep in mind, an evergreen funnel 100% relies on your meta ads. 100%. Every lead that register for that evergreen funnel is coming from ads, which means every lead that enters your business, your funnel, has never heard of you before in their life until the moment they saw the ad for your webinar. And you probably interrupted them while they were doom scrolling or while they were scrolling and watching TV. So you better do a great job of understanding their pain and connecting with it and showing them that you have a solution, right? So what we did to start warming up Sarah's algorithm and warming up her audiences and warming up her retargeting audiences and building some momentum on her ad account was we started with engagement ads. And we start with engagement ads, stock standard. Every single client that I ever work with, we start with engagement ads from day dot. For the last 7 years, we've done that and we still do that. And the reason for that is because we need to give the algorithm a leg up. We need to give your audiences a leg up. So we take her best performing Facebook Lives. She was going live once a week on Facebook at the time. That was still a thing. Are people still doing that? She was going live every week on Facebook, and we would take those Facebook Lives and we would repurpose them as engagement ads, which means we get to build a big, fat, juicy retargeting audience of all the people that viewed those videos, right? Because you can't expect Facebook or Meta or Instagram to magically know who your perfect buyers are. You have to train the algorithm with proof. And the best place to start is to run engagement ads and fill up your buckets of warm audiences, right? Get those retargeting audiences going because you can create lookalike audiences from that. And if somebody watched a minute of a 20-minute video, they're warm enough. That gives you a good, healthy foundation for a lookalike audience. And then you can start running more of these ads, these engagement ads to those lookalike audiences. If you've been feeling like social media is sucking the life out of you, or you're tired of spinning your wheels trying to build your list with little to show for it, then listen up. Inside our completely free 5-day Facebook and Instagram ads training, you'll discover exactly how much to spend on ads to make them work specifically for your business. I'll walk you through step-by-step how to set up ads that actually get results. Navigate the ads manager with confidence, even when Zucks keeps changing everything, and boost your email list signups instead of just boosting posts. The best part, you'll get lifetime access to all the updated strategies that are working right now in 2025. And you can revisit the training anytime you need a refresher. Ready to stop guessing and start growing your list with confidence? Join over 10,000 others who've taken this course now. Head over to thelaunchlounge.com/getmyadup or click the link in the show notes. Your future students are scrolling right now. Let's make sure they find you. So in effect, we're saying to the algorithm, here are the people, this is who they are, go find more like them. So here's your action step for phase 1. Look at your last 6 months of content, social media content. Look at what got the most comments, saves, or shares. That's your gold mine. That's your engagement ads. That's where you start, and you run those ads you can run them to your warm audiences just to remind them you're there. But then the most important thing is to run them to cold audiences, because then they do the networking for you. They do the audience building for you, right? And you can run them, like I always say, $5 a day, but if you've got $1 a day, do it for $1 a day. So that's phase 1. Let's move on to phase 2. Phase 2 is the Evergreen live experience. We made Sarah's Evergreen feel like a really special event, even though it was automated. We used countdown timers, limited seating, reminder emails. The goal was to recreate urgency without relying on this is live right now. We want to make sure we have that exclusivity going on without saying join live or we're live or come live, so we can do that when we use exclusivity. Number of seats are limited, all of those sorts of things. Think about it. When was the last time you actually watched a webinar all the way through on your phone? Have you? Did you? Are you? Exactly. That's why your content has to work even harder on Evergreen. And here's the test. Is your webinar strong enough to keep someone's attention alone on their phone while they're cooking dinner? If not, you have to restructure it. That's what we did for Sarah. We added live client wins. We added pattern interrupts. We added urgency. We made it exciting, right? We made it participative. Is that a word? I don't know if that's a word. People like gamifying, things that are gamified. So think about how you can use that. Lots of slides that moves quickly, animations. You can do all that stuff with Canva right now. I have a client, Laura, who hired someone from, I'm going to say Upwork, I think, a graphic designer off of Upwork to design her webinar slides. And they incorporated video and every slide had, not every slide, but a lot of the slides had video in it. And it is magical. It's just magical, the sort of multimedia experience you can create with Canva and a graphic designer you hire off of Upwork. It's incredible. Well done, Laura. She knows I love her slides. All right, so that's phase 2. Phase 2 is your Evergreen live experience. Your Evergreen, like it's not a webinar anymore, it's an experience, all right? Phase 3, data is your compass. Oh, you guys, I really, really wish that data didn't matter as much as it does. And I really wish that I wasn't such a data geek because my content would be so much sexier if I didn't talk about data as much as I do, right? But you know what? I would rather tell you what really works than tell you what you want to hear. So I guess that's why you're here, is because you value that and you don't mind my boring, unsexy data conversations. But here's the thing. Most ads managers fly funnel blind. Most ads managers fly funnel blind because all they focus on is the ads data, the traffic data, the how the strangers came to us data. That does not make money. What makes money is how those strangers from the ads moved through the funnel. And an ads manager is not necessarily a specialist in online course funnels. Unless you hire us, we are, because we exclusively work with online course creators, right? And coaches. Most ads managers fly funnel blind because they don't track the data that shows how people move from the top of the funnel, through the middle of the funnel, to the bottom of the funnel where the money is. They only track the leads. We tracked everything in this funnel. Everything we drive traffic to, we track. Because I am of no use to you if I am only tracking ads data. Because you're not paying me just to shoot a bunch of traffic at you. You're paying me to be your partner in building and growing your business, which means I have to know how your ad money turned into profit. It's my responsibility. So we tracked everything in this funnel, from the top of the funnel all the way to the bottom. Cost per lead, from link click percentage. How many people saw the landing page? What was the landing page conversion rate? How many leads did we get from ads? How many leads did we get organically? So that I can see the difference between the performance in the ad leads and the organic leads. Because you're working your tail off on Instagram to get those organic leads, but your money's working to get the other one. So we want to know the difference between those two. So if you don't know the difference between how many people bought that came from ads versus how many people bought that came from your organic traffic, got to figure that out. How many people showed up for that webinar? How many people stayed and watched the pitch? How many people bought on the webinar from that early bird bonus, that fast action bonus? How many people bought afterwards from your other bonuses and from your urgency and scarcity, from your cart closing message? How many people did payment plan? How many people did full pay? We want to know all that stuff. So initially, her Evergreen funnel converted about 40% lower than her live launches. But instead of panicking, we treated it as data, right? The numbers showed a very big drop-off at the 20-minute mark in the webinar. So we rebuilt that section. We added a bit of a transformation story right there where people were zooming out. We changed the language a little bit from teaching language more to story language, and boom, retention improved and conversions climbed a little bit. And we did that with a few different things. And over time, it kept climbing and climbing. So if you're not tracking your numbers, then you're not going to know what to fix. So I want you to pull up a spreadsheet and ask yourself, how are these people moving through this funnel? And can I track every step along that way? And even if it's imperfect, but you start, then at least you start. Phase number 4 is the scale and iterate phase. So once conversions held steady, we started scaling. We expanded the cold audiences. We went broader on the cold audiences. Now, I will admit this is before iOS 14 and its impacts, and this was before Advantage Plus audience targeting. So our audiences were already quite big, but then we made them even bigger. And today, you're probably going to start with the size audience that we expanded to, and then you're going to go even bigger, right? We retargeted warm leads, and we even tested a price increase at one point from $4.97 to $6.97. And surprisingly, when we went from $4.97 to $6.97, do you know what happened? Conversions stayed the same, but Sarah made more money. And she had better quality students as well. Within 90 days, Sarah was averaging one course per day, one course sale per day. Now, if you think about that over 365 sales per year at $697, that's $250,000. That's $250,000 in annual revenue. And the best news is her return on ad spend was 2.8 on average. Now, that means there were weeks where the return on ad spend was 0. That happens. And there were weeks where it was 5 or 8. That happens too. And we never look at the data. We track the data week to week, but we never get bogged down by the weekly result. We look at it over a month. If it's profitable over a full month, we stick to what we're doing. Because within a month, there can be a week where you make no sales and a week where you make 10 sales. And that's just the nature of evergreen funnels. So for every dollar she invested, she got $2.80 back. And it was all automated. So no more late night webinars, no more waiting months for that cash injection. And as she told me, for the first time since I started my business, I feel like I have true freedom. I'm not chained to my launch calendar anymore. So I wonder what it would mean for you to finally have sales coming in on Evergreen every single day. Here's your implementation guide. This is how you're going to get started. I know you might be thinking, Salome, this sounds amazing, but I don't have an agency to build this for me. Where do I even start? You can have an agency, you can hire us. It's one option. Or if you don't have the resources for that yet, just take a deep breath. Rome wasn't built in a day. You don't have to build the whole thing at once. Think of it as your 90-day roadmap, right? 90 days. Give yourself 90 days to build this. Just one step at a time. And step number 1 is to validate your offer with live launches. Do at least 3 live launches. This is non-negotiable. Sarah had 3 successful live launches under her belt before we automated anything. And that's why it worked. Step number 2, start running engagement ads with your best performing content today. Start warming up your ad account. Start building your warm audiences. Even if you're not ready for Evergreen yet, this warms up the algorithm. It builds custom audiences that you can use later, and it just wakes everything up on your account. You'll notice your SEO gets better, your website traffic gets better. You'll even grow your Instagram account faster if you start running engagement ads. Step number 3. Map out your Evergreen experience. And remember, this isn't just hitting record on your webinar. You need email sequences for webinar registration. You need reminders so that they show up. You need a replay. You need a good cart open strategy that sells. And you need a strong cart close strategy that creates urgency and scarcity. Every single touch point is part of the experience. Step 4, give yourself at least 90 days to test and optimize. Start by running enough traffic through that funnel that you get at least 400 people to register for your webinar. At least 400. Because statistically, if you can get 400 people to register, if your funnel converts, you should see sales. I've worked that out a long time ago. 400, because if 25% of them show up and watch the webinar and 10% of them buy, then you end up with sales. Your first Evergreen funnel will possibly convert much lower than your live launches. So keep that in mind. That's normal, and that's why we use that time to tweak and refine and strengthen it. And step 5, track everything. Cost per lead, show up rates, sales conversion, cart abandonment. These numbers tell you exactly what to fix. And better yet, it tells you what's working, tells you what's already working. Evergreen is not a weekend project, right? This is not something you're going to get done in a weekend. But if you commit to this 90-day roadmap, you'll have at least a system that you can start implementing and that could potentially pay you back for years to come, which buys back your time, gives you a little bit of breathing room. And to me, that sounds a lot like a freedom empire. So I want you to imagine waking up one morning, checking your phone and seeing that you made a sale while you were sleeping. Not because you got lucky, not because you sent some desperate middle of the night email, but because you built a system that works for you 24/7. And that's what Sarah has now. And that's what an Evergreen funnel can give you. The freedom to build your business without being chained to launch calendars, and the ability to generate consistent revenue while you're living your life, while you're going to your kids' hockey games, or taking your birthday off, or taking a day off because your kid's having a birthday party tomorrow in the afternoon during pupil-free day. That's me. The peace of mind that comes from having this kind of freedom and having predictable income is priceless. Every Evergreen funnel is a brick that you lay in your freedom empire. And you lay one today, and tomorrow you'll wake up with a business that runs without you. Daily sales aren't a dream. They're a natural result of building smart systems one at a time. And as I mentioned at the start of this episode, between now and the end of October, we're diving into the world of Facebook and Instagram ads right here on the Launch Lounge podcast. And here's a little bit of what you can expect. On September the 9th, in episode 305, I'm going to share with you another case study. This one is called $134,000 on just $5,000 ad spend. And this is how one course creator turned $5,000 into $134,000 using Facebook and Instagram ads and a proven launch funnel. This is real results plus the ad strategy that I'm going to break down for you. On September 11th, episode 306, Facebook ads plus funnels equals $500,000. Discover how a mindset coach scaled their online course to $500,000 using a Facebook ads funnel built specifically for course creators. Launch strategy and real results inside the episode. And maybe you'll like October the 2nd, episode 312. I'm going to be talking about from ad to money in the bank. Funnels demystified. If you've been all about like, what the is a funnel? Then I'm going to share that. And I want you to email your burning ads and funnels questions to me at podcast@thelaunchlounge.com so that I can make sure I include your questions in these episodes. Have a lovely day. Take good care. Bye. If you're loving what we're covering today, I've got something special for you. Right now, and for a limited time, I'm creating exclusive bonus content for every single episode that goes way deeper than what we can cover here on the show. Think actionable worksheets, behind-the-scenes insights, and the tools I actually use to get these results. It's completely free, but it's only available to my email subscribers. If you want to get more actionable help and dive even deeper with me, the only way to get it is to sign up. Head to thelaunchlounge.com/podcast-freebie right now to grab today's bonus content and never miss future episodes' exclusive materials.